Hello and welcome to the Cardiff Central Christmas Quiz for 2023 with your host, Mealy G. So let's get straight into it. Rules of the game is there's 1 point per question. So there's 20 questions, 1 question per position. So question 2 is about a hooker, question 9 is about a scrum half, etc., etc., etc. So there's 1 point per question. So for some of them, particularly 16 to 20, you'll find that there are more than one answer, but you have to have, if there's 2 answers, you have to have both answers to score a point. So don't cheat. Remember what your mother told you. It's no fun. You're only cheating yourself. But if you want to put your competitors off, then by all means do. That's part of what we do. And enjoy it. It's a bit of fun, guys. It's we're not fixing the Dragons' defense, so let's crack on. If you are playing as a drinking game, so there is 1 finger per wrong answer, 2 fingers if you fail to answer at all, and if you come up with a particularly crap answer that's had no thought and no relevance to the question whatsoever, you're gonna have to nick your point. Okay. Here we go then. Let's start with the front 5, so the type 5. Question number 1. John Yapp made 105 appearances, but how many tries did he score? John Yapp made 105 appearances for Cardiff. How many tries did he score? Question number 2. Which former Scarlets hooker signed for Cardiff this season after Jersey Reds collapsed? So Cardiff signed a former Scarlets hooker who was playing for Jersey Reds this season. Who was that? Question number 3. Which former Cardiff prop recently joined the Cardiff Academy coaching team? Which former Cardiff prop joined the Cardiff Academy coaching team this season? Question number 4. This is about a second row. So Craig Quinnell retired at the advice of doctors after a serious neck injury. But who was his last game against? So it was Craig Quinnell, famous Cardiff second row, retired in the advice of doctors after a serious neck injury. Who was his last game against? And question number 5, Rob Sidoli joined Cardiff in 2007. Who was his debut against? That's Rob Sidoli, joined Cardiff in 2007. Who was his debut against? Okay, so that's your front 5. Let's take a look at your back row. So your blindside question, number 6. Nathan Thomas made how many appearances between 2003 and 2005? Nathan Thomas made how many appearances at number 6? He also played 8 as well, to be honest. But how many appearances between 2003 and 2005? Question 7. This is my favourite one. Which Cardiff open side went on to coach defence at the Ospreys, skills at Scarlets, defence at Dragons, and assistant coach at Wales under-21s? So which Cardiff open side went on to coach defence at Ospreys, skills at Scarlets, defence at Dragons, and assistant coach at Wales under-21s, and is now, I believe, a rugby agent? And number 8, who is this? Okay, so you're looking for the guy in the Cardiff shirt, obviously. So let's move on to the backs. Scrum half. Whose player journey is this? So they went from Ospreys to London Irish to Cardiff to Edinburgh to Dragons and then back as a coach in Cardiff. So whose player journey goes Ospreys, London Irish, Cardiff, Edinburgh, Dragons, and then back as coaches Cardiff? Question 10, outside half. How many points did Jared Evans score in the 2018 Challenge Cup final win against Gloucester? So on his own, how many points did Jared Evans score in the 2018 Challenge Cup final win against Gloucester? wing. How many appearances did the great Jonah Lomu make for Cardiff? Now, we all remember this signing and we all remember seeing him at least once, but how many appearances did Jonah Lomu make for Cardiff? 12. Who did Jamie Roberts sign for after leaving Cardiff? So they've changed their name since, so we can take either side, but who did Jamie Roberts sign for when he left Cardiff? 13. How many appearances did Jamie Robinson make for Cardiff? So that's Jamie Robinson, outside centre. How many appearances did Jamie Robinson make for Cardiff? 14. Which winger, but he also played fullback, who had 10 seasons at Cardiff, has a surname that would score 28 points in Scrabble? Now, which winger or fullback had 10 seasons at Cardiff and has a surname that would score 28 points in Scrabble? And 15, you might see my fat finger there. When is Lee Halfpenny's birthday? And I'll give you a clue on that one. It's festive, but not that festive. So when is Lee Halfpenny's birthday? Okay, so let's have a look at some trivia. 16. Which former Cardiff Dragons and Wales 10 is the cousin of Wales women's forward Georgia Evans? So Georgia Evans, who plays for Wales women, her cousin is a former Cardiff Dragons and Wales 10. Name that player. 17. Who was the first captain for Cardiff in 2003? So who was the first club captain for the 2003 season? 18. Who was caretaker coach alongside Justin Burnell in the 2011-2012 season? Who was caretaker coach alongside Justin Burnell in 2011-2012 season? 19. Who was the highest attended home league game against? Who was the highest attended home league game against? And 20. Who is Cardiff or the Blues all-time top point scorer? So who is Cardiff or the Blues, as they were when this player was playing, all-time top point scorer? Okay, so just to finish up then, your tiebreaker, in case the scores are close and you need something to separate you. So your tiebreaker question is, according to URC stats, how many penalties did Cardiff concede in the 2022-23 season? That's how many penalties did Cardiff concede in 2022-2023 season? Okay, so while you get yourself ready, so Cardiff Central is a podcast that deals with all things Cardiff rugby related. We have loads of fantastic guests on, and it's a real good fun listen every week. We review the previous week, we look at what's coming up, and then we just go off into all sorts of strange places. So if you want to chat to us, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. If you want to listen to us, we're on Apple Podcasts and we're on Spotify. You can also find us on the Sports Social Podcast Network. Or if you're really a glutton for punishment, you can find us right here on the Rap YouTube channel every week. So please do subscribe, because it's a good laugh and we all enjoy it, and you'll be very welcome to listen. So, okay, let us move on with some answers. So, answer to question number 1. John Yap made 105 appearances. How many tries did he bag? He bagged 2 tries in 105 appearances. What's the name of the Scarlet hooker who signed for Cardiff this season when Jersey Reds collapsed? That was Dav Hughes, at the time of recording, yet to make an appearance. So, question 3, which former prop, recently joined the academy coaching team? Scott Andrews is the answer there. Question 4, Craig Quinnell retired after which final game? His last game was against Glasgow Warriors. Question 5, Rob Sidoli, who was his debut against? His debut was against the Ospreys. It's a 17-15 win. Nathan Thomas made how many appearances? Nathan made 50 appearances. I think he then went to Bath, or he might have gone to Scarlets, but he went one way or the other. Number 7, my favourite question. So Cardiff open side, so he played open side, then he coached defence at Osprey, skills at Scarlets, defence at Dragons, assistant coach for Wales under-21s, is now a rugby agent for quite a few top players. Rob Appleyard. So favourite question on there. And number 8, who was in the photo? Obviously, that was Josh Navidi. If you did not get Josh Navidi, give your head a shake, fella, because damn. Okay, backs. Whose player journey went Ospreys, London Irish, Cardiff, Edinburgh, Dragons, and then back as coach at Cardiff? That's the one and only Richie Rees. Fat fingers again there, guys. Question 10. How many points did Jared Evans score in the 2018 Challenge Cup final against Gloucester? That was 13. How many appearances did Jonah Lumu make for Cardiff? Surprisingly, only 10, which is a real shame. But if you saw any of those 10 performances, then well done you. 12. Who did Jamie Roberts sign for after leaving Cardiff? Racing Metro or Racing 92. 13. How many appearances did Jamie Robinson make for Cardiff? And the answer there is 108. 14. So you like this one. Which winger or fullback had 10 seasons at Cardiff and has a surname that would score 28 points on Scrabble? That's Chris Chekai. So if you want to check that out, that's 3 points for a C, 10 points for a Z, 1 point for E, K scores 5 points, 1 point for A, and 8 points for J. Okay. And finally, when was Lee Halfpenny's birthday? December 22nd. How very Christmassy. So let's move on to the trivia questions then. So 16 was which former Cardiff Dragons Wales and 10 is the cousin of Wales women's forward Georgia Evans? And the answer there is Kerry Sweeney. 17, the first captain of the Blues was Martin Williams. 18, who was caretaker coach alongside Justin Burnell in 2011-2012? And the answer there was Gareth Baber. Highest attendance for a home game was against Leinster at the Millennium Stadium in 2006, and it was 15,327. So the answer you're looking for there is Leinster. And question 20, the highest point scorer, Cardiff's favourite bit of trivia, Ben Blair, 1,078 points for Ben Blair. That's 1,078 points for Ben Blair. So your tiebreak question was, how many penalties did Cardiff concede in the 2022-23 season according to URC stats? And the answer there is 197. Cardiff conceded 197 penalties last season. So that brings us to the end of this year's Cardiff Christmas quiz. We hope you enjoyed it. Everyone at Cardiff Central and the Cardiff Central family would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for your support so far this season. It's been an absolute blast so far this year. Please do join us for the second half of the season, and any feedback, if you want to leave your points, any comments or whatever, leave them under the quiz, and we'll get back to you when we can. Have a fantastic year and all the very best from everyone at Cardiff Central.